Good morning, Facebook. Good morning to the world. Yes, my name is Nicola Colley. I'm no stranger to Facebook. Actually, I don't post picture often, but if some things affect me, I come forward for the world to hear and everyone to see. Now, for 2025, which is last year, I've been posting some video quite often concerning a matter that is affecting me and my family up to this day, which mean me and my kids and my other family members. I have a daughter named Ashley Fritz. She's going to be 25 in March this year. She's disabled and she resides at a care project. She's a ward of the state. It was an ongoing matter between me and the government, basically the welfare department, which is the government. However, it's going to make 7 years that she's not with me. I go and I visit her on a regular basis and we have a relationship. She knows me quite well. My daughter basically have autism, but she can speak. She might not be able to carry a straight conversation, but she's aware of what's going on around her. But sometimes she can be distant in her own little mind because she's not like me and you. And the only thing that I've experienced over the years when my daughter was living with me that can keep her quiet is if she have a little gadget in her hand. Now, I know there is a time and place for everything, but at the same time, artisan people, special people, they're not like us. They cannot do things like us to take away maybe the pain or the sorrow or give them joy. We can get up on bed and go to the movies on our own. We can get up and go down the road and have a beer. We can get up and go down the road and, do different things that make us happy. Some of these special people, they out there on the street. Some of them family leave up to themselves, so they are out there, but things is not the way it should be with them because they're out there on their own and they're not aware of how to go about life. And some of them, because of neglect, they're out there and they try to make the best of it, which in they been advantage a lot. You see them on the street every day. Now, my daughter grew up indoors. I didn't really let her out because, our level of, ability towards life, she would not be able to go there on her own and do things. I don't know for now what it would have been because it's 7 years I mentioned before she's not with me, living with me. But the point I'm trying to make this morning, let me get straight to it, that hurting me. When my daughter resided at the care project 7 years ago, the welfare officer that is in charge of her, I'm not calling anyone in name this morning because I'm going to just say what I have to say. She set up a care plan, which is a legal document saying that once I want my daughter, I can apply a week in advance to the care project management and she would be able to come to me and my family, whatever we want to do with her, but they would have a little expenditure, a little dialogue, what they would, tell us to do and not to do and whatever. And set up like maybe tell her what to feed her on and all of that. Okay. I always say the people with the shirt and tie that went to the big schools, let me use it as that. I don't want to doubt them about certain things. What they think of autism or a special child should eat and how they should operate. But in my own little world and opinion, raising my daughter from a baby until I lost her. My daughter is not a sickly person. She is not a person with things where she's not supposed to eat and this and that. She is a normal child, just that she have autism and she's not collective. She still use Pampers and she have a little disability. But she's not sick. She got sick 7 years ago with a terrible flu, which she was hospitalized for almost 2 months. And someone that was close to me I have no idea who it is up to now, used that and said, because of our treatment from me and family members, make she sick now. We born in this world. We all sick and we all die. We can eat the best, we can do the best. Where life take us, there is where we end up. Because at the end of the day, we have no control over certain things in this world. You can wake up tomorrow, you can get a big foot, a big hand. You know, so many things happen to so many people in different way, different from accident. So, if my daughter get a terrible flu, I don't know how I become responsible for her having the flu when flu is something from creation. They had so much flu in the past history, like bird flu and all this flu that killed out millions of people around the world. But as I mentioned in my past video, someone went to the welfare and freed me. And because I didn't know much about the situation, how to go about handling the situation, I didn't take legal action. And up to now, 2026, I haven't get my daughter to come out from the care project to go nowhere. My daughter has been locked up in the care project. I only visit her and come back. Now, I want to ask people of Antigua and Barbuda and the entire world, it is fair for somebody locked up in institutions for 7 years. They can't come and go to church with their mother, their intermediate family. They can't do nothing in 108 square mile where they're born. Because they're disabled, they must be locked away and just surrounded by nurse all these years. And they're in Antigua and Barbuda, where they say slavery is abolished. My daughter basically is like a slave because she's in that institution. You visit her, she comes out and she goes in. Now, they have a new management team. I can't say new management. They have a new female is in charge of the care project just maybe 2 months or 3 months ago. I don't know how much we met, we talked. We're supposed to be having a meeting with my daughter and the welfare officer. That meeting hasn't come up yet, but the former matron that was there, she never gave me a chance to take my daughter out. Myself and her wasn't even agreeing because of a lot of things. And I don't see the need for it because, as I said before in my past video, I don't know the former matron. I don't know nothing about her. I know she was in charge of the department and that's all. And as female to female, there is a manager for the department. She's a female also. You mean to tell me none of these female in charge of care project, the nurses, none of them, cannot think about these children need family time with their family? Would any one of these human beings that works at the care project or have anything to do with the care project want somebody to take them and lock them up in a place for 7 years where people only come and see them and leave? Everybody in this world deserves to be free and live a fair life until their time comes. I'm sitting in my room today as I make this video. I want to go to church this morning with my daughter holding her hands. And I can't because I cannot go to the project and ask for her because I won't get her. The former matron had made some rules for the department that you have to call the day before you come to visit, and there was a lot of rules. And I wrote to the minister, the attorney general, the first lady. I have wrote to Rod and Turner and so many people in authority pleading and crying about my situation facing my daughter. And everybody fell on deaf ears. Now, I'm a mother of 8 children. She is my 5th child. All my kids are grown now. They're all adult. And they're all born Antiguans and Barbuda. Now, do you think it's right for me and my family to represent this government that we've been pleading to have time with our loved ones and everybody ignore us? How can we support a government that when you cry doesn't hear you? My kids and them are grown. Not all of them live with me. Few of them, and they work. And the only time they have to visit their sister is on weekends. And not even that we have to call and ask. I tried to call the department after 2 Friday to make reservation for the weekend and nobody answered the phone. So now I have to spend a weekend at home without seeing my child. I can't just walk up there. I mentioned in my past video, Della Basti, the first matron when my daughter was get to reside here. When she was in charge of that department, I used to go to that department freely, go on the ward, respect everyone, respect the rules. I get to bathe my daughter, I get to interact with my daughter. But the only thing, we had to leave at 6, which we had no problem for. Sometimes all up to 6:30, we could sit with my daughter. Nobody never eyed, nobody never block us or anything. And from the time Della Basti was transferred from that department and the new matron get in charge, everything changed. We start hearing if we go in the ward, we're going to give the kids COVID and all of that. No, I don't say certain times you have to take precaution if certain things, an outbreak is there, and I fully respect that. But you mean to tell me, am I supposed to live in Antigua and Barbuda until God ready for me? Having my child in institution, when I go to visit her, they bring her out for half of an hour, and I sit with her, then they set time up. I was there up to Thursday, and it's half hour I get. The former matron that is transferred from the department, she said half hour, and it continues. I don't know when the meeting comes with this new matron, if any change is going to make. I spoke to Malvin Joseph many times and talked to him about assisting me with the visiting hours. People in authority even wrote to the permanent secretary concerning the visiting hours, and nobody seems there. Now, you think it's fair for somebody to take taxi and go to the department to spend half hour with a family member? When you go to Mount St. John and you sit by a family bedside as long as you want to? What is half now to visit your family? Why the department don't have rules set out that you can watch, read the rules and go to visit your family? Why you have to call and make appointment and make reservation? It's almost 6 years now I haven't seen my daughter sleep and wake. All I know, she's in the care project. She comes out like somebody at 17:35 and sit for half hour with me. I tried to write the Attorney General, the Prime Minister office and all over, and nobody seems there. And me and my children must back a government that cannot hear our cry, that we cannot go freely to the care project to visit our family. No, we can't support the government. They're not supporting us. That is our blood. That is my child. This is my children, brother, my children sibling. And they cannot walk up to care project freely and say, good afternoon, I come to see my sister Ashley. Are we still in slavery up to a day like today? I spoke to the welfare officer many times about the situation, and she giving me all kind of Nancy story, telling me that if you go on the ward, the child is going to get scared and you're going to scare the children and all these crap. So the nurses that work there are not human beings like us. How you think we feel when we go to the department and we have to sit outside and wait till they bring her out? And before we click our finger, they say time is up. That's the way people treat. People is running from disabled and special people, and we are running in and we've been pushed away. Tell me about it. It is ridiculous. That child is going to be 25. That child born and raised in this house that I live. And that child cannot come out and gather with our family. Man is raping children, people murdering children, all kind of things happening in this country. And people get a second chance. Why I cannot get a second chance with my child that I raise? I never go to no Red Cross. I never go to no charity. I never stand up on the street and beg anything. Somebody make a false report against me and like they're going to use that against me for the rest of my life. So I cannot have no time different from going at care project and sit for a couple of minutes with my daughter. I even went to Genders Affair and everybody said, take a lawyer, take a lawyer. I'm going to take a lawyer. But it's unfair for me to have to take a lawyer to have rights with my child when I haven't done anything to her. It is ridiculous.